maybe Phaedra and the husband. I mean, they talked a little bit about it, and they don't seem to have much issues going on. They
Are they even in a relationship?
More so, they don't seem to be in a relationship.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So, but that's a good angle to look at it. Like, if you don't find yourself in arguments and fights, you're probably not really in a relationship.
Yeah, if you're not passionate.
That means you're not passionate, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see. Let's make sure Instagram can see your pretty face.
Oh, I'm here, Jari.
All right. So if you're not arguing, or if you don't stumble, I'm not saying argue. We absolutely advise against arguments, but not so much avoiding argument, but not so much advice against arguments. Avoid arguments is what we say, because we kind of know it will happen.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also a nice channel for the devil to come into your relationships. Is the easiest way, because again, the devil doesn't just fall out of the skies in the black clothes and then say, "Hey, I'm here, I'm going to destroy your relationship." It doesn't work like that.
Mm-hmm.
He uses your weakest links, your weak points, your weakest moments. That's what the devil uses.
Sure.
You know, whatever you call devil in your world, by the way, don't get stuck on the word devil, okay? Because some people, that's a big deal for them. All right. So but when we say devil, we're talking about all the negativity that can come with a relationship.
Right.
Basically the opposite of a healthy relationship, right? So those things, they come in the form of arguments, toxic arguments in particular.
Mm-hmm.
We're not talking about disagreement. We're not talking about just having a conversation with your wife, a small debate. No, I agree, you disagree. No, I think it's that way. But we're talking about arguments. But here's the thing: arguments don't just fall out of the skies and become arguments. It starts with a conversation. It starts with a small debate.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the harmless ones, right?
Yeah.
That's what it starts with, right?
Mm-hmm.
But before you know it, you've already rubbed somebody off the wrong way, and that wasn't your intentions. And now you're in this conversation and you can't even get out of it, right? So yesterday's was it yesterday? Yeah. Marriage Bootcamp was about fight. So this basically, they put them in positions to instigate a fight, they call it. But basically what it was is mostly argument, right? For most people, it's argument. Every now and then there's a situation where people get physical. And there was one person that actually got physical at the very last minute of that episode. And but again, nobody wants to get physical. Nobody starts like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's when anger comes in,
mm-hmm.
right? Somebody rubs you off the wrong way, and you just want to, like, he snatched the phone away from her. And they call it aggressiveness. So if you're aggressive with your voice, if you're aggressive with your tone, your mannerisms, right? Those kind of things will push your significant other away.
Well, if a man is overly animated,
and it's a man.
Well,
you can be aggressive as you want to.
I know, but especially if you're a man and you are now animated,
mm-hmm.
It is kind of scary to the woman.
What do you mean by animated? Explain that to the people.
You are like all over, you're a man and you're flinging hands and that's scary now.
Yeah.
A woman will feel threatened.
And a lot of time as men, we don't realize that we're looking like a threat. So if you talk in gestures a lot,
mm-hmm.
and you're using a lot of physical gestures when you're talking, all that is aggressiveness.
Yeah.
And it can absolutely destroy what you have going on.
Right.
If you have anything at all. So so that's basically the quick review for. So basically, this guy Devon and
Hazel
E, they got into it. They got a little physical towards the end of the show yesterday. Phaedra and Medina,
mm-hmm.
they don't seem to have much going on. So a lot of indifference. Somebody's waiting for the other person. They actually still wooing each other. So squash to the side. What's the other one? Will and Shonda.
Yeah, Shonda.
They fall in actually today's topic. So let's leave that to the last, right? Who else?
Vado and Tahiri.
They get into arguments. They basically what they did is that they put them in different rooms, but the other party was listening to the other person they know. And basically what they heard, for example, Vado and Tahiri, she was hearing that this dude is still having some kind of intimate relationship with his baby mother. But intimate relationship does not always mean sex. When you confide in people and you're talking to them and they know your secrets, they know your weak points and things like that.
And you tell them things that you can't necessarily tell
that
your
you can't even tell your spouse
or you're hiding things,
or your girlfriend or your boyfriend.
That's kind of cheating.
Yes, and that's what and she felt cheated. All right. So again, cheating is not always, another mistake that a lot of people make is that cheating is not, for the most part, it's not even sexual. It's not when you already slept with somebody. It's actually more of that the other person's feeling. The person that's accusing you of cheating is their feelings. Their feelings, when they find out, is actually what constitutes, what we call cheating, in the sense of once they catch you in inappropriate behavior, maybe it's not even inappropriate, but they feel like it's inappropriate. That's all.
If you have to lie to your spouse, if you have to omit certain things, you know that, what I'm doing right now, my spouse would not agree or wouldn't like it. It's kind of, you're cheating them out of something.
Yeah. So I agree. However, if you feel like, no, you're not cheating them, it doesn't count. It's them feeling like they're cheated that counts towards.
But if you know in your mind that what you are doing right now
is right,
I can't do it in front of my spouse.
Oh, yeah.
Have a problem. That is basically.
If you if that person knows.
Yeah. If you have to hide to do certain things.
Oh yeah. Like if you wouldn't do the thing you're doing in front of your significant other.
Right.
I like saying that because it's spouse, sometimes it's girlfriend, boyfriend, right?
Right.
If you know you wouldn't want them to see it, that's probably cheating. Right? So it could be even money, it could be financial.
Yes.
Yes, it could be anything that if they find out, they will feel cheated out of the knowledge of it. It's not even the sex, it's not the physical act, just the knowledge of it, just them knowing that, so that's where some people come up with their definitions of open relationship.
Right.
I just want to know. Well, I still feel like if you want to do open marriage, why attach marriage to the word? Just get out of marriage. Right? Why complicate life for yourselves? So let's just keep that in mind right there. Cagney Parker, thanks for coming through. Let's talk about it. All right. So Vado and a lot of these people, their fight still comes from the other person feeling cheated out of something. Okay. So there's a definition here actually of cheating that I put in here. Let's start diving through that right now, because if you don't even know what cheating is. Proper definition of it, right? Because a lot of people have different variations of the meanings. What does it mean, and stuff like that, right? So let's talk about a cheat. That's referencing a person. A cheat is a person who behaves dishonestly in order to gain an advantage. So let's dissect that real quick. Dishonesty, right? You can't call it cheating if dishonesty is not involved in it, right? So this is how you feel, but you decide to tell your spouse the other way around. You want to hide it for reasons known to you, right? Maybe you're not even comfortable, right? So that goes to people that want to be quick to judge cheaters. Is it right? Is it wrong? We're going to talk about all of that, right? But dishonesty is just simply, you wouldn't want to tell them. You wouldn't want them to see you in that light, right? And that's cheating. Okay. But usually, by the time it becomes sexual, it's already too late. It's been happening long before sex.
Right.
Okay. So that's for the people who want to judge. Oh yeah, he had sex, he cheated. Okay, it's already too late at that time. If you really want to judge, you should be judging way before. You should judge yourself in moments too, when you were very weak. It's still weakness. You're doing something, you wouldn't want to tell your spouse that you're doing it for reasons that may even be right to you. That's why it's not about right and wrong. That reason may be right to you. It's just that this is my thing. you, including like you say you were going out and then you took another
exit to another place
to go to Walmart instead of coming home. But you know that he's going to talk about it if you mention that. So you decide to just keep that to yourself because you don't want to hear his mouth.
Or you buy, you know how I will use women as an example. And I know I've done this. Like you will buy shoes and just sneak it inside because
Exactly.
you don't want your spouse to have an opinion about,
shoe.
You bought another shoe again. How many shoes do you even have? So that kind of situation.
So it starts with all of that, you know.
Yeah, it does.
It
does.
You know, it starts with all of that.
Even though that doesn't hurt you, it's still, you know.
Well, it's a behavior. It's a behavior that starts like minuscule. Almost start very small, but it's a behavior that you're encouraging yourself to say, "Let me keep this away from him."
I don't want to hear his mouth.
Yeah.
Like,
so it's a behavior. It's just, and it's learned. And all behaviors in relationships are learned, one way or the other. You know, it could just be you're practicing small with small thing. Let me buy a little shoe on the side. Doesn't have to know. I'm not saying don't buy a shoe on the side. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just letting you know.
I love shoes.
I'm just letting you know where some of these behaviors start
where they come from. Yeah.
So that's what causes fights, and that's what. But this conversation is beyond marriage bootcamp, and let's just go ahead and take that off the screen and dive a little bit further. If you're watching the marriage bootcamp review, you want to go ahead and watch the full episode of Marriage Issues, 10th episode 010.